All right. Happy Monday, everybody. It's another week in the life of a UI UX designer. I'm John, a staff UI UX designer. And if you are new here, then I'm going to be documenting some of my corporate work and side projects. Phone's talking to me. This is mayhem right now. What is going on? Hey, can you please distract her or something so I can film this thing for 10 minutes and then I'll be up? Thanks. Starting awfully familiar to last week. Baby crying in the background, but this time it is the end of my workday, so we are about to go hang out with her. I decided to hold off on filming today until the end of the workday so that I could devote all of my focus to this big homepage redesign that is my current #1 priority. This is going to be the star of the show for the next week and a half at least, and it's also going to be a pretty significant item in my own personal portfolio, so I want to make sure that I am as high functioning as possible. That means going to sleep at a reasonable hour, eating breakfast, eating lunch, working out, all of the things across the board. I need my brain as healthy as possible so that I can make some magic happen, because the turnaround time for this is pretty quick considering the high visibility of the project. So lots of pressure, but we're not going to let that get the best of us. And on top of making sure that my mind and body are as healthy as possible, I also want to make sure that I am approaching this project in the most efficient way possible. So I think the first few days of this project are going to be focused around making sure that I am following the directions with the most potential when I do get into Figma. And the problem that we're looking to solve at this point is fairly broad. You often get broad direction when you are at the staff or senior level. So I think to summarize the success criteria of what the executive team is looking for, they love the new hero component that I whipped up for the homepage, but they want to see more of that design influence on the entire page. And specifically, they would like to see the divisions that represent the corporation at the highest level represented on the page in a way that the user immediately knows what the company is and what we do. And I'd consider that pretty fair feedback for a homepage. We are also going to need to display a broader corporate message when the user first lands on the page. So above the fold, we need to have a broad corporate message, and then while scrolling through the page, we need to be able to identify what this corporation does. All right, so corporate work is going to be filling up our brain space for the full week. We're already counting for that. We're going to put pop melt side projects on pause, but this video is already in a good place. This is the first time since I've started this project that I'm caught up with all of the editing. So I have 3 weeks unlisted and in the can on YouTube. And this is the final week that I'm filming and editing before I actually start posting things. So a really great relevant week of content before we officially launch the channel. And last but not least, don't want to leave you on abstract corporate work all week long. So I've got a little toy to show off today. We've got a new light. Actually, I should say another new light. This is the Aperture MC. I actually already have one of these, but I noticed that when I am filming upstairs at night that it's a little bit difficult to make sure that I have the lighting set correctly when exposing for my face and with the background. So just grabbed another one of these little lights to help out with that. Super convenient little panel light. I will definitely make great use of this. All right, it's dead, and I'm using the other one back there as that blue light, but as you can see, it's got a little diffuser, perfect little size, pocketable. You could even throw it on a camera if you needed to do some run and gun work, but great to have another one of these in our kit. All right, let's wrap up this work and go hang out with the fam. All right, we are taking it easy tonight, mostly just doing inspiration gathering and finished up watching the season of The Bear. I'm trying to be as receptive to inspiration as I can be in any medium, so if I am going to watch TV, I want it to be something of good quality, and I definitely picked up a few things that I want to play around with just from watching The Bear. I love how they're doing all of these quick cut insert shots. It's like creating this really intense, stressful tension, and honestly that's right in line with how I'm feeling this week with having to get something done quickly and under high pressure. But I'm not working on any of the side projects, I'm not picking up any busy work, just really trying to research and get organized to make sure that I have a solid direction while I am working on these homepage designs. And tomorrow I think we are really going to start diving into the actual design, and hopefully we start seeing things take shape. Actually, that should be my goal by the end of the day tomorrow. I want to have 2 directions on screen that are taking shape. But I'm trying to keep these nice and short this week to maximize the amount of energy that I have to put towards this design work. I'll catch you guys in the morning. Let me get a good shot of you. Let me see you. Let me see you getting some good mama loving. Yes.
Mama! Mama and Dada.
Can you say hi to the camera? Hi. I love you. Kisses. Oh, thank you. Okay, it is Tuesday and we have been keeping up with our healthy habits, going to sleep early, eating breakfast, and it is definitely working. I am starting to feel so much more confident in the direction of these designs. I think even yesterday I didn't have the next steps in mind, so it was kind of hard to visualize and explain what I was going to be working on today, but I had a goal in mind to have 2 different directions established by the end of the day today, and I think I've done that in Figma. So I'm breaking the rules a little bit here for what I think you would typically consider a corporate website, and our executive leadership team is encouraging me to do that. So with this goal of having a broader corporate message when you first land on the site, we could either have a screen that takes over before the content loads that gives that corporate message, or we could repurpose that hero content when you first land to be more about the general company message. But the reference that the business sent over that they have in mind is the first option of having content that loads on the screen before the actual content of the hero image appears. So I am working on that direction first, and I don't have it fully fleshed out yet, so I have the first pass of a basic prototype of that, and I'm going to refine that tomorrow. But we are doing a great job this week of avoiding any procrastination, and I feel like it is really helping to reduce the amount of stress revolved around this kind of rush project. All right, let's go hang out with the fam. I don't want to jinx this, but I feel like we are keeping a great pace this week. All right, Tuesday night, we've got to be honest, I messed up my sleep schedule. I worked out earlier, put baby girl to bed, and then I was just too tired, so I crashed and woke up around 10. So now it is 2 in the morning and I just wrapped up working on a few things. So I do have a few things that I need to clean up on the videos before I actually start posting them live, but I should be ready after this week to officially start publishing. You know, honestly, it feels strange to not be working on the side projects this week. I do think it's benefiting me to have my focus, at least on the design side of things, dedicated to the corporate work, and I can see that it's paying off for sure. I'm making good progress and not feeling that level of stress that I was expecting to be under. I do have my standing meeting with my team tomorrow, so we are going to check in on the progress of this project. I don't think I'm going to be in a position to actually share anything yet, so I'll just be giving the update that everything is tracking on time. All right, it's late though. I will catch you guys in the morning. I like the single. Okay, decent recovery from going to bed entirely too late last night. If anything, it just proved how important maintaining a healthy sleep schedule is for myself. My brain is definitely a little off today, and I'm not as high functioning as I was early in the week when I was doing a better job about going to bed early. So if you're up too late watching YouTube videos, go to bed. You'll be happy about it tomorrow. We're able to make a decent recovery though about midday, and I started to feel the steam picking back up on this project, and I've made some pretty good progress. So we are right on track where we need to be, and I confirmed that in my meeting today with my internal team. Even though I have a pretty good amount on my plate right now, it feels good that it's just like focused on one singular task and I'm not bouncing between tasks all day. That tends to really hurt my productivity. It's not really in line with the way that I focus, which is just picking up one thing, sitting down, and really diving in on it all day long. It's already 4:30 though, and since we're keeping pace, let's go for a ride around the city with the fam tonight. And let's get out of here. You've probably picked up at this point that I absolutely love my toys, and the e-bikes might just be my second favorite purchase after my Sony FX3. When I moved to Nashville from LA, it wasn't the easiest transition. I really loved my life in LA. I loved being able to walk out of my apartment and skate to get anything that I needed, and it really contributed to a healthier, more active lifestyle. So contrast that with Nashville, where it rains a lot of the time and it's not perfect 75-degree sunny Southern California weather every day. It definitely took some getting used to. But my favorite thing about Nashville is definitely the parks and the infrastructure for bikes. So my first big purchase was my one wheel, and that really changed my perspective about living here. It unlocked the freedom, so I was able to zip around the town similar to how I was in Los Angeles. And eventually I wanted Blair to be able to come with me, so I picked up an e-bike for her, and then once we had Blue, we picked up another e-bike so that she could ride on the back when we're out whipping around. And since Blue has been old enough to ride on the back, it has definitely been our favorite family activity. So much so that I've been a huge advocate for the e-bike, and we've gotten Blair's sister and her husband to pick up 2 e-bikes of their own for their family. So not a cheap purchase, but one that has definitely added a lot of value to our life, so if you can swing it, highly recommend them. We have the rad power bikes, and I bought into that ecosystem a while ago, so that's why we picked up another, just to have matching batteries that we could switch back and forth between them. But there are a lot of competing brands right now that have significantly reduced the price of these e-bikes, so check them out. You might find one that's cheaper than you're imagining it to be. Alright, not really much to report on the work front though. It's so strange only having one project running at a time. I actually can't really remember the last time that I didn't have a little side project running, so probably a much shorter video this week since there's not as much to show off on the work front, but I definitely feel like it was the responsible decision to make to cut back on those side projects so that I could focus on this project. Alright, let's go crash, get the sleep schedule back on track, but the goal for tomorrow is to wrap up the 2 directions that we have in Figma and figure out what level of prototyping we're going to do. I already have some basic prototypes going in Figma right now, but I'm not sure if those are going to be high fidelity enough to actually close the loop on the animations that the business is expecting on this round of designs. So hopefully if I can get these designs finalized tomorrow, then I can focus on the best way to present these directions. Alright, catch you guys tomorrow. Alright, Thursday afternoon, and we are wrapping up our super productive, responsible work week, just focusing specifically on corporate work. This definitely paid off having my attention in one area. We are crushing all of our goals for the week, and everything is right on track for our presentation next week. I just finished up all of my work in Figma for these design directions, and I have a rough prototype put together that I think is right in line with what the business is looking to see. And since I am right on track, I am going to go a little bit extra and start working on the code prototype in the next few days. And while I think I hit the mark on what the expectations of this delivery are, there are a few things that I'm just not happy about that I think could be a little bit more polished and refined before I actually present to the business, specifically around the timing of these animations when the user first loads the page. We're really breaking some rules here by not serving the content as quickly as possible, but since that was explicitly requested from the business, I want to make sure that I am doing it in the best way possible at least. So the timing and the easing of these animations is going to be extremely important to feel like one fluid animation, and not like something is holding up the user before the content loads. It needs to all just be one seamless interaction. So I don't know if I can pull that off with the limitations of how Figma uses the Smart Animate. So I believe that we're going to need to get into some prototyping, even if that is just rigging up these animations to show a proof of concept for each of the different states that I have in mind. I'm not going to let it hold me up or stress me out, but I think that it will be worth putting a little bit of effort towards that. And these days, I'm just a little bit more excited to do some coding than design work, so let's take advantage of that where possible. Alright, I do want to take advantage of this rare perfect weather summer day, so I'm going to go ride around with the family. Catch you later. Alright, I may have chilled a little bit too hard in the evenings this week. I definitely could have kept better pace with the edits for the video this week, and I don't think that I've spent enough time thinking about the fact that I'm going to start posting these next week, which means that I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time this weekend organizing YouTube stuff. Not the end of the world, but I probably could. Alright, happy Friday everybody. We are wrapping up another week here. Corporate work is in a really good place, so next week I should just be packaging this up, getting it ready for my presentation on Wednesday, but there's no real stress about having to figure out anything else next week. And hopefully, since we dedicated our time all week to this and we kept a good pace, I will have a little bit of extra bandwidth next week to work on some prototyping, and hopefully we get another positive reaction from the business and the executive teams so we can get these new designs moved into development. Next week is also going to be a little short. We're leaving on Thursday to go visit some family. We rented a Tesla to drive down to Florida, so I will be covering that as well. And I'm actually planning to take a couple of days off of corporate work for that trip, but I'll also be capturing some footage of our travels to share with you guys. All right, one last thing, since this was a very light-centric week, I have one more new toy here on Friday, another light. This is just a really bright tactical flashlight, and I got it just for safety to have around the house, but I thought that I could use it to close out this video as well, so let's go test this bad boy out. Okay, wow. Honestly, a lot brighter than I thought it was going to be. But that's perfect. All right, thanks for checking out another week in the life. I gotta get to editing. Peace.